Good evening, and welcome to the Book of Very, Very Bad Things podcast. I'm your host, Peter. My guest this evening is Mr. Joseph Ross. Joseph makes the startling claim that he, 2021 years ago, was Joseph Heathen Christ, the man we all identify as Jesus. The name heathen meaning of no one religion. Joseph asserts that he has vanquished Lucifer, knows the names and locations of key biblical figures, and that this era is the mirror image of New Testament times. I make no judgment of Joseph's claims. I'm simply having a conversation with an interesting human being. Now, to be fair, if this sounds unbelievable to you, it does to him as well. We discuss this at length. As you'll hear on this episode, Joseph is affable, he's articulate, and he is most certainly a one-of-a-kind human being. On the Book of Very, Very Bad Things podcast. Okay, that I record this
yeah, for sure. Yeah, why not?
Awesome. Excellent.
I mean,
thank you so much.
The fun part with that is, people get antsy about that. It's like, dude, there are billions of sets of eyeballs on everybody at all times, so it doesn't really fucking matter.
Exactly. You got a cell phone in your pocket, they got you.
Yeah, exactly right.
So you're well this evening.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Yep, hanging in there.
So I'd first come across you. You had been making some comments on Talib Kweli's Instagram page.
Yeah.
And that intrigued me. So I looked more deeply into it, started following you, and heard some of the things you had to say. And, I mean, some of it was obviously like it took me aback, but none of it was negative. Everything you had to say was very, very positive, looking to spread love and positivity. So, a lot of the feedback you'd gotten from Talib, who he's a great guy, amazing artist, but he was like, "Oh yeah, you're just crazy," whatever. He didn't want to hear anything you had to say. So
because it's so bizarre,
right?
I mean, it goes against everything that everyone has ever been taught.
And something I started saying to people that I'd known when I was a very, very, very young altar boy in the Catholic Church, I said, if Christ were to make himself apparent in this day and age, right here, right now, they'd try and lock him up.
Right? Dude.
Am I right or am I wrong?
About that is I'm on Twitter, and 8 of the Pope's Twitter pages pop up on my who people I should connect with.
Right.
I'm like, that motherfucker don't want to connect with me. He knows that I know that he's the one that had me nailed to that damn cross. You don't want to.
So the current, we're talking about the current Pope?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Same one. That exact. See, this is one of the hurdles is trying to get everybody to understand or realize that we're infinite beings.
Right.
Okay. Right now, we are in round number 2, at minimum. So this is the payback round, basically.
Right.
So everything that happened 2021 years ago, every single person that was on Earth at that time is on this Earth right now, and that means, I've identified every person that had anything to do with my murder and torture and all that shit last time. I know who all of them are. I was basically beaten and tortured again by the same ones. The only people I have not encountered are the Pope, the Rabbi, and the Ayatollah, which those 3, to ensure that their religions would be what they are today, they agreed to the punishments that I received. Lucifer didn't have anything to do with it. All he did was convince these assholes to do that for him.
Right.
So he could establish himself as some kind of God, which he's nowhere near that.
Right.
He knew it. As soon as he realized that I woke up, he was like, all right, I better get the hell out of here.
Well, I mean, anyone who's biblically versed knows that, Lucifer, Satan, the enemy, he has no actual power. He's just a tempter.
Oh, he had some.
Well, as far as temptation, as far as wielding as far as wielding temptation, but divine power, he lost that when he fell.
No, he was dead. He okay, so I don't actually heal people myself. I don't.
Right.
At least I haven't yet. God can. He used me to heal anybody he wants. So, I mean, that takes me back to, I met this woman at a church. So he's not adverse to the churches. They're fine there.
Right.
So I went to meet this woman because I was an insurance adjuster. And they had a windstorm it was in South Carolina. I thought it was Virginia, but it was actually 6 months before that. I was in South Carolina. And as soon as I stuck my hand out to introduce myself and greet her, my hand literally felt like it was on fire. And I touched her hand. Her hand was freezing cold, and she like jumped back. I was like, "Oh, what was that?" And she wouldn't come anywhere near me after that. I was like, "Okay." She stayed over there, and I just kind of went and did my thing. But the only possible thing that could be is that God healed her of something at that time. But I can't track her down yet. Haven't been able to because I had all my file information and shit stolen from me when I was working up in the Panhandle, messing around with Judas a couple of years ago. But I've narrowed down the church. I'm going to give them a call and see if I can track her down and at least confirm that, because part of the problem is people are like, "Oh, well, do something magical." It's like, well, it's not on me. It's on you. Your faith in our Lord will heal you if you touch me. It has nothing to do with me other than physically being there. He can heal anybody he wants.
And that's biblical.
Which that may be, I might be able to do something like that when I'm with my soulmate.
Right.
But until that happens, I'm only half of what I actually am, which that even still is like, what? I mean, I don't fully grasp it either. The fact that, we all split from a singular soul into one male and one female.
I liken that to God being not a he or a she, but God being a complete being. And if you split what God's essence is down the middle, you get a man and a woman. I mean, to me, that's how I see it anyway. That's how I've always seen it. Yeah, that's
what we are. All of us. We're all like that.
Yeah.
So,
but I want to take it back to the beginning for you, because I mean, you weren't always you weren't always cognizant of this, right?
Oh, hell no.
This wasn't always in your thoughts.
I literally had to play the fool perfectly to fool the dude that thought he was trying to fool me. So I guess
who were you before this?
So for 42 years, first 42 years of my life, I'm like, there's no way. Come on, you gotta be kidding me. Like, no, I didn't believe it. Even little things would happen, and I'm like, oh, come on, get out of here with this bullshit. How can it be me? Because things just didn't add up, and I'm like, okay, how am I not dead? Like there's a lot of instances, especially that freaking tornado. Like, all right, so after that shit hit in Oklahoma City when I was there, and I popped outside and I was like, did you literally just freaking move a damn tornado for me? Because it literally stopped right out front where we were, and then went around us. And if you follow the track on that, it's like, I've never seen another storm do that, where a tornado came down, moved that way, and then jumped back onto the same track that it was on. So that happened, and I'm like, what? Like, come on, none of this even sounds real. But I mean, it happened. But I couldn't. In order for me to get to where I needed to go and unlock the information I needed to unlock, nobody could know who I was. Otherwise, I never would have gotten there. No, you're God's eyeballs, basically. So I pop in, go anywhere I want to. He'd see what the hell's going on, or I get to the people I needed to get to, and I guess that's the best way I can describe it. Is I couldn't know, because if I would have let on to other people that they knew who the hell I was, I never would have gotten to the places that I got to.
So as a child, like growing up, like who were you? Who were you as a small child growing? Like, where are you from?
I grew up in Robbinsdale, Minnesota.
Minnesota, okay.
Yep. And so I grew up in Minnesota. This is fun. So I grew up in Minnesota, Robbinsdale, Minnesota, where the North Stars used to play, hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
So the North Stars, my childhood was great. I mean, my backyard was a giant park with a lake right in the middle of Robbinsdale. So there was a hockey rink in my backyard, basically Little League field, Babe Ruth field, and a softball field, and a jungle gym, all kinds of crap. So I had plenty of stuff to do. I was never inside the house. We're out running around all the time up there. So I grew up playing baseball and hockey. That's basically, pretty typical normal childhood, I guess. And I was active, always active, doing something. I got 2 older brothers, no sisters. So it's just me and my 2 brothers, my parents, which they're all still around, and they can't believe it either.
Right.
But it's the funniest part because it was. Go ahead.
So when did you start to get the inkling, I guess, that there was something different in your life?
Well, this is fun. So I'm with my Aunt Mary, who I'm pretty sure is Saint Mary. My mom is Saint Barbara, and the reason that I know that is because those 2 people never do a damn thing for themselves. They only cater to other people, primarily. And I'm like, there's something with you too. It's like you're always doing something for everyone else, and you never do anything for yourself. So I put all of this together in the last year or 2. So I wasn't even aware of it then. But I'm riding with my aunts and my 3 cousins. And I think we just left church, Catholic church, and she's telling us about, Jesus, he's coming back, and this, that, and the other. I'm like, oh. And he may be here now, is what she said. And I'm like, well, maybe it's me. And she's like, well, it could be. And then I get my little freaking guardian angels like, ha ha ha, like giggles. It's like, yeah, it is you. I'm like, what? Where the hell did that come from? And that in itself was, I'm like, okay. I didn't believe a damn thing about that. But when I met my wife, who is actually Lucifer's soulmate and my twin flame, when I met her, that same guardian angel's like, she's for you. I was like, yeah, right. Come on. You're right. And well, here you go. Turns out she was. But there's only 2 times that I heard that, her voice, or just her giggle, chuckle, whatever. Had to be from one of my guardian angels, telling me that, you really are. And I was like 8 or 9 when that happened.
So you met your wife when you were 8 or 9?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. But I didn't believe it. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm like, come on. You got to be kidding me. And no, it's that's who I am.
And that's the 2 of you have been sort of entwined since that age? Pretty much? You and your wife? No. No, so I met my wife. My guardian angel told me that I was Jesus when I was 8 or 9. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And then the only other time that I heard her giggle and like, that's for you, was when I met my wife. And I was like, what?
Oh, okay.
So a lot of funny shit happens. A lot of it's just weird stuff I really can't explain so well. I guess there's a time I'm driving down to Texas and I just look over in the sky and there's no clouds in the sky, nothing at all. And all of a sudden I just look over here and there's this pinkish, yellow rounded thing coming down out of the sky. I was like, what the fuck is that? And I look, and all of a sudden I feel like, when you hold 2 magnets together, before they grasp, pulling me that way. And I'm like, I'm in the car. Like, what the hell? And I had the seatbelt on. I'm off of my chair in my car, like sitting in the car in traffic. Drive down the freaking highway on 35. And it felt like something was pumped into me, but I'm like, what the hell was that? Nothing like that has ever happened again, but I still can't put my finger on what exactly happened there.
Right.
Yeah, it's just really weird.
But you, what I guess made it like prove the point to you, because you can get inklings of certain things, but what proved it? Like, what was that?
What proved it? Okay, so on my 42nd birthday, I was reviewing basically what had happened in the last few years before that point when I got up into the Panhandle. The Antichrist tried to whack me down in Puerto Rico. Literally lured me down there to go work with them and tried to have me killed several times. I didn't really pick up on it until later. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. He's the fucker that was involved in that. But I knew something was after me, but something's been after me my entire life. And where Lucifer was all around the metaphysical world that's all around us, that we can't see while we're in this body, he's been around all the time. trying to find some way to take me out, but he couldn't do it. I don't know if I'm indestructible or it's just for him. I mean, I can be hurt. I have been. But,
what did he try to do?
Well, the only time they really got close was when I was 16 and a half, and I was basically attacked by 5 people. One of them was a classmate of mine. 4 of them were 4 years older. I'd never met him in my entire life. Never talked to him. Never said a word to him at all. But I was attacked. Basically, one of them stabbed me in my arm, right there.
Oh shit!
Came out right here, but my arm was covered in my face like this. So he literally tried to kill me that night. There's that time. I've flipped over in cars before. The tornado. Well, when I was I on Facebook, I put a whole post on there. I was at where I was working in Puerto Rico, where I would have to walk. I'd have to walk right through like this ghetto area. It wasn't far, but they had me staying by myself at a hotel in the middle of the hood. And they had no air conditioning, no television, no internet, no nothing. And I'm like, well, what the hell? I'm not going to freaking sit here all damn night. So the only thing that was open was a little bar down the street. So I walked down to that bar a few times. And one night I was there, and I stopped at this little fruit truck that happened to be out there, and this dude was standing behind there, and he started shaking. And I got close. I was like, what the fuck? And I looked back at him again, and he's still shaking. I'm like, all right. Sat there for a second, and I was like, I got to get out of here. And I just beelined it towards the bar. And I turned back around, and he started walking back towards my hotel. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. I don't know who these people are. I've never been to Puerto Rico in my life. So I'm at the bar then, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to head out of here and walk back. And this guy stops me. He's like, nah. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, get in the car. I'll drive you. He's like, okay, fine. All right, let's do it. So I get in the car. We drive by the hotel, and he's looking. He's like, nah, let's go downtown. What the fuck? Okay, fine. We go downtown. So we go downtown and basically get shit-faced. And I get back. He brings me back at like 5:30 in the morning. Yeah. And he's still looking around. He's like, all right, you're good. Go back. I never saw that guy again. But he saw somebody. Somebody was waiting for me. Was gonna come try to take me out. There were a few times up in the Panhandle when I was up there. These people tried to basically anything that they could get me hemmed up with the police. Have somebody try to take me out, and every single time something would try to happen, they'd intervene and make sure it didn't. The only thing I can think of, because there's no way I shouldn't have made it out of there with a charge of some sort, or been injured or dead. So on my 42nd birthday, I was looking at everything, and I'm like, I shouldn't be alive. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I finally threw my hands up in the air and I said, all right, fine, I get it. Uncle. I'm like, all right, I'm your son. I'm your son. I have to be. There's no other reason, no other explanation for this shit. I don't know what that means at this point, but there's no doubt in my mind that I have to be your son. After that, Lucifer came.
So So no one ever, like, there was never an explicit like directive given to you, like, okay, here is. Okay, so
so he can't talk to us.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Not like we're talking. So, and the only explanation I have for that is we are shrunk down to the size that we are. In our normal size, we're massive compared to what we are right now. So even if he spoke, we wouldn't be able to hear it. So how he talks to me is high-pitched frequencies. I'll get them, if they come in the left side, they're coming directly from him. Well, I'm sure the right side are too, but if I get them on the right side, that's a warning. Like somebody either is posting something to contradict what I've posted, or talking shit, or just being a general asshole, because they don't understand, or they know I'm telling the truth and they have no way to freaking stop me. So they're trying anything that they can. Like, this dude's just crazy. Like,
yeah, well, I
passed that exit a long fucking time ago.
It was my understanding that God used the Metatron the angel, the Metatron, to speak to us, because if we were to hear the voice of God, it would basically tear us asunder. That was my understanding through the Apocrypha, but I don't know how. There's no way I could know if that's the case, but being a devout Catholic, that was the belief.
Right. So that, I mean, and I told you that to be afraid of him.
Well, no. I was never afraid of God. I never. There was never that
That's
fear
good. Shouldn't be.
for me.
No reason to be.
I always had a love and reverence because I was an altar boy. I was a part of. I felt like I was a part of the Word. At work, and that was what I could do as a small child. So I mean, that was what I did, and I always had good, very, very pure experiences within the Catholic Church. I never had any kind of weirdness. It was always my priest was a great man. I'm still friends with him to this day.
Yeah,
he's also an exorcist, believe it or not, because he was a Jesuit and he's a Monsignor. But he was colloidal silver. Yes.
This is all you need.
The most pure.
This is all you need to extract a demon.
It's also all you need to get rid of a lot of sicknesses. People don't realize that either. But
there was the three things that the three assholes or asshats, kings, whatever the hell you guys want to call them, what they brought to me when I was a baby last time: gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The exact opposite of that is yarrow, which comes from India. Assam black tea, also from India.
Mm-hmm.
And colloidal silver instead of gold. Those three mixed together in a tea is how I activated my brain.
That's how you opened your third eye, so to speak.
Yeah. And now I can't close it.
Mm-hmm. Well, now from everything I've read, once you've opened that chakra, that's it. There's no closing it.
It's freaking weird. I mean, I feel like a buzzing almost constantly. It's other than that, there's nothing really wacky about it. I mean, it's open. I mean, nobody's really been able to lie to me my entire life anyway, so I don't really know where to go with any of that. But I don't know all of what I'm able to do. I didn't come with a manual, so and I don't.
Sure.
I don't have anybody I could really talk to about this stuff because I've gone to churches before, like, hey, you got anybody in your church that has a faith in God that they'd be able to heal themselves or they can touch his son? Nope. The hell do you mean no? The hell are people coming to your church for?
Right.
That's the thing I don't understand is people go to church to connect with God, but do you know that God watches us from the moon?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So in ancient Egypt, the hieroglyphs where they have the sun and the little figure in between, that's actually the moon.
Right.
It's not the sun. They told us it's the sun, but that is the moon. They are worshiping the moon because that's where God watches us from. And if you can understand that, then you can understand the part that through the moon, it's home. Like through the moon is a portal. Through there is how we get back home. We're down here to just enjoy life as living beings and to experience true love. That's the gist of it, basically. See if I can find one for you. But yeah, he watches us from the moon. So I'm curious to figure out is everything that they told us about ancient Egypt a lie, or is it simply like everything else? And what they told us is really the exact opposite. And maybe there's a handful of people that understand that. There's got to be more than that. I would think. I can't be the only one down here that can see him. But I literally see the silhouette standing inside the moon.
That's an interesting take because I've heard more Eastern philosophies and the like that they assign planets to. Yeah.
You see the moon?
Yes.
And the sun?
Yeah.
All right, back here, right there.
Mm-hmm.
That thing with the disc on there, there's a flame on that.
Yeah.
So I'll text it to you so you can see it. But I'm like, how the hell can anybody not notice that that's a flame? And then how are they going to sit there and tell us that is the That's the sun, and it clearly can't be. But if people understand that God watches us from the moon, Monday is moon day.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So Monday is God's day, not Sunday.
Well, yeah, it's pretty much understood that Sunday is not the Sabbath. So it's either a Saturday or a Monday as the seventh day, the day of rest, God's day.
Yeah.
Sunday is just that's made up. That's something that, the Catholic Church found to be most convenient. Just like, it used to be you couldn't eat meat on Fridays, then you could only not eat meat on Good Friday, and then like it's just they're just rules that are made up. They're perfunctory. They're not a real thing.
No, I mean, well, they take them as real. Some of them do. Some of those weirdos do.
Well, you know what it is? The Catholic Church had a vested interest in the fishing industry in Rome. That's where that came from. That's exactly where that came from.
Really?
Yeah. That's absolutely the truth. That's a historically accurate statement. The Vatican had a very, very large vested interest in fishing vessels in Rome. So no meat on Fridays meant fish.
No meat on Friday, but fish to force people to buy it.
Right.
Well, that's why the fish sandwich at McDonald's on Friday. Dude, everything's a freaking sham, dude.
Everything is.
Me? Oh, freaking dicks. I mean, probably the worst part of all this so far has been coming to the realization that everything that plagues our society is directly tied to me. Like, here, we're going to take this fucker's
everything.
life. We're going to twist everything around. Well, I mean, the Last Supper, total bullshit. I didn't turn the only thing vital to life into freaking poison, which is water.
Right.
There's no way in hell I would turn water into freaking wine. There's no way. He wouldn't even let me. He wouldn't let me do that if I wanted to. That's because alcohol is access for demons. Alcohol and hard drugs.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you got through all of those things, but we have a metaphysical silver, not gold, silver connection to God at all times, unless we sever it. Drinking alcohol and doing hard drugs will sever it.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I did hard drugs for many years of my life, sir.
Yes, sir. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are, but they also...
I took them to get to the truth, to find out what the hell it was about them that was so freaking destructive for everybody. And it's like, wow, shit. I mean, what the hell's the big deal? You want to go get fucked up? Go ahead. I mean, why is that such a problem? It's not a sin. It never was. But if I had known that I would be disconnected from our Lord every time I did that stupid shit, I probably wouldn't have done as much. Or for not for as long.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, marijuana doesn't, in my opinion, that's probably the only intoxicant.
That doesn't count.
It doesn't count, and it's a spiritual drug, as is peyote, as is mushrooms, as is anything that comes out of the ground. And
as long as it's grown or made by him, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to, in order to see, this is really freaking weird because this is not posted or written anywhere that I've seen or even heard of. I had to lay on a grid of 36 different crystals. So I had that underneath this mattress pad. And part of it was for my wife because she has Parkinson's, and I had half on her side was directed towards her Parkinson's, and the other half was directed towards me and all my little ailments and shit that I got. But in order to, I ate some shrooms.
Right.
I did not know that this was going to happen. I ate some shrooms and I went, laid down up there, and she was already asleep, but I'm laying there, closed my eyes, and all of a sudden, every single one of those crystals starts pumping energy straight up. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? I mean, I'm sitting there, my body's going like this. And she was too, but she was asleep. And then next thing, my eyes are closed, and I see this yellow light coming at me like this, in my head, and I was doing this. Next thing I know, I'm jumped outside my damn body, and I'm on the other side of her. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So her thing with the Parkinson's, there's something inside her brain that's dying.
Right.
that causes all the goofy shit to happen. So I'm up there, I'm trying to, I have this like Acme hammer, and I'm trying to whack at it and get it to open up or something. And every time I'm doing that, her body's jerking like this. I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to hurt her. What the hell is this crap? Like, I'm just trying to open that up. Well, I'm not paying attention, but the light coming towards me went into me. And then all of a sudden I was back in my body. I'm like, what the hell was that? But nothing like that has ever happened again. But I needed the mushrooms to do that. I didn't know that I needed them, but I did. I did. See, our brains are receivers, and stuff comes to me, and I'm just, I'll just give it, try it out, see what happens. You know, so it's not like I'm not the one coming up with any of this crap. The universe is like, here, try this. Okay. You know, the reason how I figured out the colloidal silver and the yarrow and the Assam black tea was like, okay, so I was just thinking about that, and I'm like, all right, well, the three king guys. So I look them up, and I'm like, these assholes wanted to kill me. Why the hell would they bring me anything useful? So I was like, I already know Lucifer, and I'm like, I don't think you're as smart as you think you are. So he put the truth in the most obvious place, which was stupid, which was the exact opposite. And I'm like, okay, judging with my life going on right now, my wife and I are exact opposites. What the hell is the exact opposite of frankincense and myrrh? Because gold, that's easy. That's silver.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, where the hell am I going to find the exact opposite of that? And it's like, okay, well, essential oils come on like a wheel.
Yeah.
There's like a color wheel.
Yep.
And I asked other people, and they sent me some. And on one of them, the opposite of either frankincense or myrrh was yarrow. And then the opposite of one or the other on another one was melaleuca. And I'm like, well, that's a tea tree. So I went to this metaphysical shop, and I'm like, hey, you guys got any yarrow? Yeah. So I grabbed the yarrow, and I was like, you guys got any melaleuca leaves? And one of them that was in the shop, lady comes up, beelines it straight over. She's like, what are you asking for that for? I'm like, because I need it. What for? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm just, that's what's telling me to go do it. And obviously you're reacting this way. It's telling me I'm dead on the fucking track because the little demon inside of you is telling you that you need to try to stop me.
Well, a lot of the people in those shops, they're into brujeria. So, I mean, that makes sense.
They have demons that occupy somebody in that shop, and customers come in there, and then those demons follow them home, freak them out, and they come back and get more stuff. They know what the hell's going on. I mean, I had one guy at another shop. That was pretty funny. So I go into that shop. This is do you see the post where I had those stupid burn marks on my arms and shit?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I go into the first shop, and I ask her, I'm like, look at this shit. I'm like, you see this? And she freaked out, damn near burned down the shop, burning sage and all kinds of other crap in there. But she was visibly shaken. I'm like, this motherfucker came over here from your stupid shop, lady. He's sitting in that other lady right over there. But she didn't know. And so I go to another shop because I got kicked out of that one. They're like, yeah, we're done servicing you. I'm like, all right then. So I go to another shop, and I'm like, hey, you got anything in here that works good on getting rid of demons? You know, I was like the sage and cedar shit. I was like, they could care less about that. It doesn't matter to them. So he's like, yeah, I developed this spray, and I do exorcisms. And I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, whatever. So he gives me the spray, and I come home, and the little shit was hiding in my wife. She had no idea. And so I go in the bedroom, and she's in there laying down, and Trevor, our son is right there. And I spray this stuff, and within 2 seconds, she's like, "Oh, that stinks! Get it out of here!" I look at my son, and he looks back at me, and we both laugh. We're like, "Ha! Gotcha, you little fuck!" You know, because he was hiding inside of her, and she had no idea. And it's like, okay, well, now I know where you fuckers are hiding. So, and I'm like, how the hell do I get rid of them? I was like, there's got to be some kind of weapon I can use against these clowns. And I thought of the thought popped in my head, vampires. I was like, what about vampires?
Yeah.
Silver vampires. I'm like, huh. So I go to the store and I get this colloidal silver. And I probably kicked, I don't know, 25, 30 of them out of her that were hiding. One by one, they'd come by, and I'd put the colloidal silver in her coffee cup because I'd make her coffee in the morning. And when the big one that put the diamond on my arm, they're trying to cut off the circulation to my hands. I'm like, that's cute. So when that one happened, and so this is pretty funny. I tell the truth even though I lied through my fucking teeth. So she comes down the stairs. She's like, "Did you put colloidal silver in my coffee?" And I said, "No. No, I did not. Why would I do that?" And that was the demon trying to hang on. Well, I didn't. I put the colloidal silver in the cup and then I added the coffee to that. So technically, I didn't lie, but I didn't tell the truth either.
Right.
But anytime I know when they come by because they have like a fart smell. And, well, if I'm the only one out here on my porch, I'm like, I didn't do nothing. I'm like, oh, okay. And it's kind of hovering in front of I'm like, that's one of you assholes, isn't it? So after a while,
that's
they try to get.
That's your brimstone.
Huh?
Brimstone.
Yeah.
You're smelling brimstone.
So,
yeah.
Well, those are real places. I'll get to that in a second. But these fuckers would come by and they would actually try to mask their smell with like dryer sheets. I'm like, it's 2:00 in the morning. Nobody's out here doing their damn laundry. I'm like, that's another one of you fuckers. You trying to hide now? Coming by here. Why do you keep coming by? I'm going to kick you out and then you're gone. Because as soon as that's with the colloidal silver, what happens is it reestablishes their metaphysical connection to God, and then they're gone. See ya. They have no choice but to leave. Because I never had the same marks from the same demon after I kick them out.
Well, I'll blow your mind with this. Maybe the whole vampire thing. They say silver and garlic. What's in garlic, right? What the main mineral? It's mineral rich with silver. Colloidal silver is in garlic. It's chock full of it. Chock full of it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You ever had black garlic?
Yes.
You know how to make it?
I don't know how to make it. I've had it in Japanese restaurants, though.
Yeah, dude, it's fun. It takes 18 days to make it. I do the same thing with an onion, which is pretty cool. Well, I bet with the vampire thing, what that is, actually, it's they're not real themselves, so to speak. They're not living for thousands of years and all that bullshit. They're the fuckers that are taking the adrenochrome. So instead of, the bloodsuckers taking it out of your neck and freaking people out, it's actually much worse. They're sticking a needle in their fucking brain, terrorizing the shit out of them, and then extracting their drug. And they're not drinking it; they're injecting it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that comes from. Is from colloidal silver, or not colloidal silver, for vampires with the silver. To me, that's even more terrifying. What they're actually doing than what a vampire. Yeah, whatever. It's like, okay. So, yeah.
You were going to tell me about brimstone, though.
Yeah. Okay. So fire and brimstone. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say probably 75% of whatever the hell is in the Bible is actually true, but it's used metaphorically.
Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
So the places known as fire and brimstone are two countries that exist today. There are only two countries on this planet that are democratic republics. One is North Korea, and the other one is the Congo. Neither one of those places are anywhere anybody wants to be reborn into. But going off of the first two parts of both of their names, you can pretty much guess who the hell's going in there first. Democrats, and Republicans, the corrupt ones.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's no stopping from going. Those two places will continue to exist as long as people keep doing shit that gets them reborn there. So North Korea, they're not doing anything wrong. They're doing exactly what God wants them to do. And that is payback for what these people did to us in their previous life. So, I mean, I don't really know how much longer these fuckers are going to keep trying to pull this bullshit that they're doing to us right now. But there's no escape. They cannot get out. There's no escape. They can't buy their way out. They can't pardon their way out of any of this. They might be able to do that in this life, but no, you're fucked. There's nothing that you can do to stop what's going to happen to you, and you're not going to like it at all because they're going one foot in the door in the prison camps there in North Korea right now. I mean, there are not two places on this earth that are worse than those two.
No, you're probably right, but I mean, there has to be a part of you that feels terrible for them.
I feel bad for the people that are in there.
Yeah, I feel bad for them.
But if I knew what they did to get in there, I wouldn't feel bad for them at all.
I mean, to me, I just, it's in my nature to inherently just feel terrible for people.
Oh, well, absolutely. Right. No, that's absolutely correct. But you had to do something to get put there. They are being paid back for what they did to other people. That's not our fault.
Right.
It's their fault. And if we want North Korea or the Congo to change what they're doing there, we have to change so that we don't get sent there. So.
And you had some pretty interesting and possibly incendiary things to say about slavery as well. And, it was ballsy for you to come out and say it. But did you get a lot of blowback for that? Like, did people?
Not really.
No.
I got more thanks and praise and.
Because it wasn't what you said wasn't inherently bad. It wasn't inherently bad.
Painful, raw. Nobody wants to hear that, I guess, maybe. And it's like, look, dude, this is the truth. It's the only way this is going to come out. I'm not going to dance around the subject. There's no nice way to put it. But in the grand scheme of things, that's what happened with slavery. Is the people, the slaves themselves, the Nubian tribal members, before they came down here, they agreed to serve in that life with that slave to do exactly what they did, which was protect the woman and children of that house from the wrath of the father. And to me, that is, you look at whipped Peter and you're like, damn, that's just disgusting. It's gross. What happened to him is shameful and it's very painful and raw and just, never should have fucking happened to him.
Right.
But then you look at him like, wow, he took that away from the kids and the woman.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing more beautiful than that. Ever.
Yeah, I mean that's supposed to be what a man does. To any degree, like no matter how you slice it.
Absolutely, women are sacred.
Yes,
they're the sacred beings. We are the way that we are to protect them, and to put in the work, basically.
Yeah,
for them, we are supposed to protect them and treat them a hell of a lot better than we do.
I agree with that.
And that shit's all got to change, but it's got to start somewhere, and that's not going to happen until we get this racism shit squared away and get that taken care of.
Well,
because that is the root. They started with that one. Because I was black when I was nailed to that damn cross. Because the chosen people, God's chosen people, are the Nubian tribe.
I always maintained that Christ, if anything, and I know you don't say like whatever the name would have been, whatever name you put on it, Christ would have been African, not Caucasian.
Nope.
So these pictures of your blue-eyed Jesus are obviously.
I mean, I as closely as I can.
It's revisionist history.
Yeah. I mean,
it's obvious revisionist history. That's white people trying to paint themselves into the picture.
You want to know why? Because that's what Lucifer was.
Caucasian?
Yep.
Makes sense.
The Jews with the me. That's Lucifer. I wasn't a Jew. He was. So, I mean, but for me being white this time, this is where the music comes into play for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Me being white this time, it's absolutely impossible for me to fully understand what the hell it's been like for them. For the Nubian tribe people throughout their lives this time. I can't. It's impossible. I cannot get there.
Right.
I mean, I could try to understand but it's impossible. So that's where hip hop came in.
Right.
Most specifically, Tupac, Goody Mob, DMX, and Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang. It's
Yes,
right
sir.
behind. It's right behind me, right here, brother.
Right. So they were able to give me the perspective I was not able to get on my own, by being white this time. You know. So when Tupac said that, he's not going to change the world, but he's going to spark the brain of the man that will, he was talking about me. And he absolutely did change the world, because he was the one who gave me the information that I needed to reach the conclusions that I did. Because without his perspective and the other artist's perspective, I wouldn't have gotten to everything the way that I did, I guess. I needed their assistance to tell me what the fuck is going on.
So we're saying that Tupac, because I used to always believe, and I still think and believe that Bob Marley was, if not a prophet, a speaker and a seer of the spiritual. Bob Marley, I have a spiritual connection to in my own way, but
absolutely.
So there, Tupac is that connection to the ethereal for you in a small way, big way. He's part of your direct link to.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, Bob Marley too.
Bob Marley's fucking heavy. I mean, there's no getting around that. They were messengers. Mm-hmm. They were messengers for me, I guess. They're messengers for everybody, but they were messengers for me too. And without them, I wouldn't have discovered what I did. Or not discovered. I didn't discover anything. I unlocked it. I unlocked the information the universe said, here, fucking take it. Mm-hmm. The hell am I supposed to do with this? But that's where, the music, that's why I hate music today sucks. They don't have anything to tell me. Well, there's some good stuff out there. You just got to know where to look. I mean, I grew up I'm 45, and in the 80s, I discovered punk rock, through the Clash. I went to a Who concert with my father. The Clash opened up for them. Changed me. Nice. Changed me. Directly thereafter, hip hop happened in a very big way with the Message, Grandmaster Flash. And, to me, hip hop and punk rock are kith and kin. They're they're folk music. It's all folk music to me. But there's still music like that happening. It's not above board, though. You got to know where to look, I guess.
Right.
So there's still stuff out there.
Oh, for sure. Most definitely. Just not the stuff that gets played all the time on the stupid radio, which I don't even listen to.
No, nor do I. Terrestrial radio is worthless. But with all of these things you're saying, and all of your good intentions, you seriously get no resistance from people in general.
Oh no, I do all the time.
I was going to say,
I'm apparently a reptilian. That's the newest. That's the latest one. I'm a reptilian, and my reign is over. I'm like, motherfucker, I haven't even gotten where I need to go. How the hell are you going to tell me it's over? The only thing is over is Lucifer's stupid ass, because he's back home.
People are still on this reptilian thing, huh?
Dude, that shit cracks me up. Where does this even come from? Like, we got all these different freaking types of people. No, we don't, you moron. We got.
It's that alt-right thing where the reptilian aliens are overtaking people and blah, blah,
it's
blah,
just
blah,
something else, other monkey wrench in the fucking process, I guess. Like, what? I mean, come on.
It's the Alex Joneses of the world that are kind of pushing that narrative, the reptilians, the this, the that, and he's he claims to be a Christian too, and devout at that. But I mean, how could you be Christian and be that hateful?
Well, because they all are, dude. It's freaking weird. I get more hate from Christians. I get basically a devout Christian hates it if I sit there and tell him, no, I'm that person that was nailed to the damn cross. Uh-huh. No, you're not. Okay. No, I'm not. Why do you say that? Well, because he wouldn't swear. I'm like, motherfucker, I can do and say whatever the hell I want. They have this perception of me that I'm only allowed to be nice, or I can only be good and nice to everybody and treat everybody with respect. And even though everybody treats me like shit, I'm like, well, fuck you. There's the way this
Right.
works. I guess the best way I can describe it is we have 99 levels of light, right? The first 50 gets you to a saint. Those are all the good things, right? Well, the other 49 are found in the shadows where all the nasty shit's hiding. So on one end of the spectrum, I am all loving and all forgiving. The other end of that spectrum is where wrath and rage are.
Well, I mean, what was said originally, I came as his lamb, I return as his lion. That's what was said.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so would it be that far outside of the the principles, the core principles of what was written in the New Testament, that Christ would return with wrath? That's what's supposed to happen. That's what's supposed to happen if you're to believe everything that's been written. So,
but I thought that takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Oh God! If I get there, it's really hard to dial it back, man. It's really Lucifer spun me up one time. I was like, holy fucking shit! I didn't even think I could come even close to that, getting that enraged. But it's not pretty. So
you're saying that there are, these that we are all doing this over again.
Oh hell yeah!
Which is it's very Eastern as well. Very the Buddhists, the Krishnas, they all believe that as well. Mm-hmm. And Catholicism believed that up until 1910, 1915, the Catholic Church accepted reincarnation as an idea. So that's not outside of the realm of Christianity or Catholicism. But if we're all doing this over again, and you're running into these people over again, as you'd said, mm-hmm. Is there anyone you haven't run across yet? Like Mary Magdalene, a lot of people.
Oh, well, yeah, her name wasn't Mary either. The whore.
Yeah, but she wasn't a whore. Mary Magdalene was a holy woman. I mean, that's
okay. So whoever the whore was, and they tried to paint Mary Magdalene as the whore, Mary is not a whore.
Right.
I know the whore. Her name is Lindsay. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't. It's not Mary. And I, if Mary Magdalene being holy, if that's not my aunt, then not really sure who that is.
But yeah, because you'd said
I suspected that my aunt Mary was my mother last time. Possibly, I don't know.
Oh,
there's a connection there somewhere.
Because Mary was the mother, and there was also Mary, as in Mary Magdalene, who they called her. They tried to paint her as a whore biblically, but originally Mary Magdalene was rabbinical to some degree, holy woman. Yeah. Where this whoredom came from, I mean, that's from when during the Passion, when Christ was being scourged and stoned, she wiped his face. A whore wiped his face, and her name was Mary as well. But Mary was like Mary is now. Like there's a million women named Mary, just like there's a million men named John right now.
Right. And every Tom, Dick, and Harry named Joe.
Yeah. But like the name Jesus back then, you're saying your name wasn't Jesus, but the name Jesus was a very, very, very common name in that area at that time.
In Africa?
In Africa, and well, in any Aramaic.
Because they're all speaking Latin and shit or whatever.
Aramaic, Syrian Aramaic. It was a very common Syrian Aramaic name. It's like Joseph or John now.
Yeah, okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it, because it's Jesus, Joseph.
Now, let me throw this one at you. So, I grew up in Robbinsdale, Minnesota, which is in North Minneapolis. Okay? Lucifer knew where the hell I was from day one. The only way that he could have known that is if somebody downloaded the information for him. And I'm pretty sure the only way they could have done that is if he was drunk. So, Jesus of Nazareth is the drunken slobber version of Joseph in North Minneapolis. It's the only thing I can think of how the hell he knew where the hell I was from day one. Tried to choke me out when I was 3 days old. Started turning blue in the face, and my mom called him freaking hospital or called 911 or whatever, and they put her on hold.
Holy shit. So,
right?
So like, someone legitimately attacked you when you were first born.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Right. But you couldn't see him. I mean, but what, you see this? Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, the line around your neck. Yeah.
Yeah, I got something there that's protecting. They couldn't do shit. He tried to choke me out there, and I would get the burn mark on top or below that line, but nothing on that line. I was like, what the hell is that? And I finally figured it out. But yeah, no, when I was 3 days old, I started turning blue in the face. My lips started turning blue. He was literally trying to choke me out when I was 3 days old. And the only way he would know where the hell I was is if somebody downloaded the information for him. And, with the North Star in the Bible, that's a reference to Minnesota North Stars. Me walking on water is a reference to me, the dude watching me play hockey. Ice is water.
Yeah.
It's frozen. So, I mean, much of this, it makes sense. And, I'm thinking about it. I love to swim. Why the hell would I want to walk on water? It's like walking on a damn beach. It freaking gets annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be walking around up and down like this. I want to be on the water. I want to be in it. If I want to walk on it, I'll go ice fishing.
So you've run across the pilot. You've run
Pontius Pilate. Yep.
Yeah. So my understanding of Pontius Pilate biblically was the way it's written anyway. He washed his hands of it. Like, I don't want to kill this guy. That's the way it reads, because the Pharisees wanted Christ murdered. The Romans went along with it because they wanted to keep the Pharisees happy. And Pilate was like, all right, I wash my hands of this. I'm done. And his wife was like, no, you don't want anything to do with this. So is that accurate? Is that not accurate? What is?
I would say that it's not accurate, because he tried to take me out a couple times. At least I suspect he did, or was trying to, and he couldn't. There's something obviously prevented him from being able to do it.
To what end, though? What would be the ultimate gain for someone like that?
Nothing, I guess, in this life. I don't know. I mean, he had nothing to gain by trying to take me out. I actually got him $200 and something thousand on his fucking claim, his insurance claim, legitimate insurance claim. I got him his money. And it just has to be residual from last time. Is like, look, my job as an insurance adjuster, catastrophic insurance adjuster, is what brought me in with all of these same people. Actually, King Solomon too. He's a musician. Lives in D.C. This is freaking funny. I was there working, and I was at a bar, our sports bar there, just eating dinner, and this guy comes in. There's two people are sitting there. This guy walks in, a black dude. And we started talking, whatever, and then shook his hand and did the little ghetto handshake. He looked at me dead in the eye, like, who the fuck is this white dude? And I look at him, he tells me his name is Solomon. I look at him dead in his face, and I'm like, King Solomon. I don't know where the hell that came from, but that was him. I still have his phone number. But yeah, he's a musician, and he was not, in the Bible it says that he was my enemy or something, right?
No, not really. They called him an antichrist, non-biblically.
Yeah. Okay.
Within the context of the Bible, he was a man of wisdom and great wealth.
Okay, so the shit coming about that he was anti-me, that's a flat out lie. So pretty much everybody in the Bible that they said was a friend of mine is the exact opposite,
including Cephas, Peter.
Well, that I don't know.
Okay.
I played baseball with St. Peter. Went to middle school with him. So that's the other funny thing. So I grew up with St. Peter. See, I've never read the Bible or any of that stuff. I mean, maybe a couple of passages here and there, and I went to Sunday school and that shit when I was little, but I never paid attention. So I don't know everything that's written in there, and I'm guessing that most of that is on purpose, because much of what is in there is just a lie. I mean, we were given one command: just don't cause harm, and that applies to everything.
Well, that's all 10 commandments are don't cause harm. I mean, thou shalt
Yeah,
not.
so you boil it down to just the one.
Yeah.
Don't cause harm. And my favorite with the Catholic stuff is like, dude, he literally told you the first thing. There's one God. One. It's not fucking me. Him.
Mm-hmm.
So they insert me between them and him and call me by the wrong name. You think he's listening? Nope. We're not hearing nothing.
That's all metaphorical too, though. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. I mean, they're just trying to quantify the crucifix, the cruciform.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. There you go.
I mean, so like the Holy Spirit thing, that's, to me, that's more just the way God moves. That's not God on high. That's just the way God moves in our lives. So that's a metaphor. And, you know, the messianic birth, I mean, that's not God, but that's godlike. That's, a direct link in the flesh. So they misspoke by calling that God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. That's just your through line.
Yeah. Could be.
It all depends on the way you want to digest the Bible, too.
Well, I mean, it's much of it is what everybody believes is what is what they were told, what they were taught by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the information that I have, I'm trying to explain to people that what the truth is, what I have for everybody, and trying to get everybody to understand. But at the same time, it's like, how the hell am I supposed to explain to people that there's a dude standing in the moon? I can see him.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't. I mean, but there's got to be somebody else. Obviously, the ancient Egyptians knew it.
Yeah.
So somebody else can see him. Somebody else knows he's there. And the pharaohs were my first guess because they were embalmed, or not embalmed, whatever, mummified, not to protect them, to prevent them from coming back because they could see him. This is my only guess.
Well, that's your Eye of Ra. That's all of that imagery. I mean, the Eye of Ra, that's the third eye.
Oh, no, I've seen him for a long time. I've seen him for the last 25 years standing up in the moon. Well, I didn't activate this to see him. I've seen him. He showed himself to me after I got out of rehab the first time.
No, you've been to rehab too.
Oh, yeah, several times.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to get to the truth. And, well, the only way you're going to get to the truth, I mean, G.I. Joe told us when we were kids, knowing is half the battle. Well, you got to experience the shit to get the other part.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, I guess I'm going to have to do it. Now, the whole time I'm doing it, I'm not like, oh, yeah, I'm after the truth on this shit. I'm just feeling like, okay, I'm doing this so that my son doesn't have to. So I had in my head for many years. Like, before I even knew that I was going to have a kid. But in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm doing this so that he doesn't have to. I don't know why, really, but that's in my head.
So, were you taken down by the opioid crisis like I was?
Oh, no. Well, I did go to rehab once my spine is broke. My L5 vertebrae is snapped in half from playing hockey. So I was on Vicodin for 3 years.
Yeah.
I did go to rehab for that just because the wife was too pissy about it. I'm like, I don't need to go. I went to fucking Hazelden the last time. I'm just going to stop doing this stupid shit. Well, mostly it was I don't want to go through the damn withdrawals and all that crap.
Yeah, they're not ideal.
No, hell no. I never stuck a needle in my arm. So that was good. But I did everything else.
You're lucky. You're lucky is what you are. Right.
Well, I knew that would be a freaking slippery slope. I'm like, I ain't going down that road.
Yeah, I went there.
Yeah, that's a tough one to break.
Nah, I got there.
Well, there you go. Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the building blocks of my faith, actually.
Yeah?
Yes. My conquering of my own demon.
Right? Which is yourself.
Yeah. I am my ultimate, only true enemy. So.
Well, part of that is Lucifer's gift.
Mm-hmm.
Which, so when he was down here the first time, he snapped and he killed a black guy. And when he did that, because he's an angel somehow, he split. And the first ego was born. Which his ego he then amplified into the devil, Satan, and all that fucking bullshit. then figured out how to program an ego into every single one of us using our educational system and television. And the ego is the demon's access to us. So if you think about it, there are 500 million. I mean, I guess we would identify them as demons. They were just stupid spirits that didn't go home. I mean, so I guess we'll just call them fucking demons to keep it simple. So there's 500 million of those assholes that were jumping in and out of people anytime that they could. And you ever blackout drunk?
Yes.
Okay, me too. It's much scarier to think of a blackout drunk being a demon jumping inside of you and turning you the fuck off and taking your body for a ride. But that's what happens. Once you drink enough alcohol, as soon as you reach the apex of that, they'll jump inside of you and turn you off. You have no fucking idea that they're there at all. But they hide in your stomach. Your ego is programmed into your stomach. That's why they smell like shit when they come by. They say they hide out in your stomach and your colon and stuff. I don't know why or how, but that's where it's programmed. Their access point into our bodies is right there, and I honestly don't know how the hell I got to that, but I did, and that's the truth. Part of that is, my wife would get IBS episodes. I'm like, that's one of these little shit ass demons was jumping inside of her, and she was trying to get them out, and they wouldn't get out. They'd stick right there, and they try to and it cause health problems for her. So part of that, me figuring this stuff out, was trying to protect her. At the same time, she had no idea that they were jumping inside of her and using her to try to get to me. I did, but they didn't. She didn't. And I've only figured that out recently.
The whole twin flame versus soulmate thing I find intriguing too. We only touched on it. We didn't get into it though. We didn't get into this part.
Right. Well, the twin. Okay, so
what?
Your soulmate that's the other half of you. So we all split into one male and one female being. The only reason I know this is because when Lucifer tried to choke me out, he had to show himself to me, and I'm sitting there looking at him like, you motherfucker, you look exactly like her. And it wasn't, I didn't figure it out right away either. It was coming for a couple months. I'm like, damn, no way. I'm like, this dude is literally you and you two, my wife and him. I'm like, huh, you guys are the same fucking, you're soulmates. I'm like, this is weird. But I knew that we were twin flames, my wife and I, because we're exact opposites in literally every single way. Her birthday is November 9th. Mine is May 9th, exactly 6 months apart. When she was born, her mother stopped pushing. The reason why she stopped pushing was to try to fuck up my timing. So as soon as she was born is when I entered the vessel growing inside my mom. So I was conceived in late August, but it wasn't until November 9th that my spirit entered the vessel growing inside my mother. So I was inside my mother for 6 months then, born on May 9th, which every 7 years is shared with Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. And this last one was too. So we're literally exact opposites. And, going through the soulmate and twin flame stuff, I'm like, well, your soulmate is your soulmate and the other half of you. So that can't be your twin flame. But there's a lot of propaganda going on out there that ties your twin flame and your soulmate as being the same person. And I'm like trying to tell these morons, I'm like, you can't. Why would your soulmate have another name of being a twin flame? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But your twin flame is the most important relationship that you can have because it's your twin flame that prepares you, allows you to work through all of your nonsense and prepares you for your soulmate, which I met mine. Her name is Kylie. Last couple of days before Christmas last year. And the only reason I know who she was is because my wife started acting funny after I met her. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then me watching these. So when I drank that tea, close my eyes and I can get some metaphysical realm stuff going on up here. I haven't had it in a little while, but when I first activated it, I'm literally going to sleep every night and I close my eyes like this, just lay there. And I see these demons go, this way, go trying to get to her. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm sitting there and they're trying to go over here and trying to take her with them. Because Lucifer was gone, and they had nobody that had any power. She was the only one left. But they couldn't take her. So, I mean, that was really weird. I'm literally watching these demons in the metaphysical realm, right up there in my bedroom, going from my side over to where she is, and she actually grabbed her pillow once, and she was asleep, and she grabbed her pillow and tried to hold on tight so they couldn't take her with her. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This is freaking weird. And then finally, I was like, babe, there's these fucking demons are trying to take you with them. She's like, what? She's getting all fucking freaked out too. I'm like, well, they're right here. I don't know what to tell you. They're trying to take you with them. And she could never see them. At least I don't think. Some of this, I'm like, this guy, you got to know some of this crap's going on. But she doesn't. At the same time, it's like, well, I'm blocked off from everything that I could do too.
And she's resigned to, like, she understands where you're coming from. She accepts where you're coming from with this.
Well, because of, I don't really know how to answer that so much.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. You'd said that your wife is your twin flame, but you also met your soulmate. Does your wife know that, or is that
yes?
Okay,
yes.
And she
knows that because the only reason that she's not too happy about that.
I would.
But
at the
same time, it's like, well, I mean, you're the reason I know who the hell she is. But the weirdest part about that is Kylie, my soulmate, was with Lucifer, and they had Jacqueline the first time. So she knows subconsciously. That's the other freaking thing I'm trying to figure out here. The subconscious and conscious mind. Your subconscious mind retains everything. It's your conscious mind that is limited. Subconsciously, she knows everything. She knows who my soulmate is. She knows that was her mother last time. And I mean, she knows all of it, but consciously she doesn't, but she's not activated like I am too. So I think some of that comes into play there. And so I don't know how, I mean, we're not at each other's throats, and we don't hate each other. We're still together, trying to just get through whatever and see what happens. Let this unfold the way it's supposed to. And it's hard because I have nobody to talk to about any of this stuff. And I'd like to run some of the stuff by her at the same time, but she doesn't want to hear it. But some of that is how she protected me, because while I'm going through all this shit with Lucifer, I try to tell her what the hell's going on. She's like, I don't even want to fucking listen to you. I don't want to hear it. I can't listen to this crap. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, trying to tell you what the hell's going on here, and she didn't want to hear it. Well, that's how she protected me, because she didn't want to hear it. So he had no idea how far I was gotten or where I had gotten with anything. So he had no clue that I had figured out damn near everything. So when I actually talked to him, he looked at me like, how the fuck do you know that? And I kind of, slapped him in the face with the truth. And then after that is when he was like, shit, I might as well just leave. So he fucking left.
So that none of this really resonates with anyone in your general family and friend group then?
Nah.
Okay. Okay. No. So this is
they're starting to understand. They're starting to realize, because I'm like, who the hell else was going to give you all this information? In the way that I have. Nobody else would have this information. I'm sorry that it doesn't agree with you, and I don't, but other than that, I don't care. Not my fucking problem. I know what I'm here to do. I know who I'm here for, and you're not out understand here, why people.
You're not out here trying to cause harm, because
no, not at all.
We had our Charles Mansons, who he said he was the second coming of Christ at one point or another, and he was yeah, he did, but he was ultimately trying to get people to kill people for him because he was
See, I'm not. No,
He was no, but Charles Manson, mind you, was a lifetime criminal raised by a prostitute. Like the guy came from, that was mental illness with him.
yes. Oh, for sure.
We're talking about somebody who didn't have a good bone in his body that got wiped out by bad parenting and nature versus nurture.
Yeah, pretty much.
So like nothing you're doing is, you're not trying to harm anyone. You're not trying to lead anyone off a cliff. It's just, this is the truth for you. And
yeah, exactly. That's literally all it is. It's the truth. I mean, I've had people ask me, like, are you a preacher? I'm like, no. Why not? What the hell do I want to waste the rest of my life just preaching to people? But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to go through all that nonsense. Don't cause any harm. Do whatever the hell you want. Be happy and enjoy life. That's it. You know?
That's a beautiful
and who
thing.
the hell authorized anybody to start selling property to other people? You don't belong to any of you. God created this whole damn planet for us for free.
That's you're right.
Lucifer was the only one who set up shop and who started collecting money.
Well, yeah,
Like,
I mean, like
you can't take with you anyway.
And I like I mentioned to you before, like the money changers in the temples. I mean, that was pretty much where religion got thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
That's it. And biblically speaking, the Christ didn't like that either.
No.
Get out of the money changers in the temples are no good. We don't want that. Just like marijuana or hashish was burned in the temples.
That.
Well, that's what archaeologically speaking, hemp was mixed in with the frankincense to make it burn longer. Whether it had intoxicating.
That just sounds gross.
Yeah, it does. But as far as like for the not for the effects necessarily, but for the longevity of the actual incense, it makes sense because it would burn longer.
Yeah.
And not all hemp is intoxicating.
No, that's just true.
So
that is very true.
But all of this, well, what does this lead up to for you? What's the ultimate goal here?
Change the entire world.
Via just like a positive life, like love and...
Exactly opposite of what the hell we're doing right now.
Well, what we're doing right now is destroying the earth that was given to us.
Exactly. So the exact opposite of that. I mean, honestly, I don't know where or how or when all this shit's gonna change hands, but as long as it's gonna take some work, a lot of work, but basically it's people need the truth. They need to understand the truth. Look, you're not brainwashed into believing what you believe. You were just given the wrong information, so you've been programmed. Not brainwashed, you've been programmed to believe what you do. That, to me, that's a better way of addressing it, I guess, is we've been okay, the racism, black and white. Okay, people on the damn news are like, yeah, this dude shot this guy, this black guy shot the white guy. Why the hell are you gonna tell me it's a fucking black guy? I can see. I'm on TV. You can tell. Why do you have to tell me that it's a black guy? Or when I'm talking about my friends, I'll be like, I'm not saying my best friend, my black friend Tony. No, Tony. What if I address them as being a black or white, whatever the hell? They're just, we don't do that when we talk. So why are they doing it on the news?
I know, like my wife.
Yeah, you can.
My wife is a person of color. My wife's black. I don't say, "Hey, this is my black wife."
My wife.
Why in the name of fuck would you say something like that?
Exactly. But
here's my wife.
But that's what they do. I think some of it's so. What I'm trying to get to is how the hell where it's programmed, and it's programmed in television shows and news programs, and it's in everything. Just the way that they talk about it, but some of it, it's not the cops that are just out to get them. I don't think, but some of them have been programmed to do that.
Oh, it's a societal
just like the Nubian tribe people and the ones in the hood and shit. They've been programmed with their lifestyle and the way that they are to fear the police. At the same time, the police are being programmed to fear them, and that's really not the truth. But everything's been designed to kind of be combustible, I guess.
Fear's poison. Fear,
yeah, absolutely, for
fear's
sure.
poison. And when
there are bad cops, lots of them. But there are a hell of a lot more good ones and worthy ones. And like I just said a few minutes ago, I don't think that they're just out there to get them, but they've been conditioned, I guess, and programmed in a way that causes them, both sides, to react the way that they are right now, which is the cops are fucking just killing them.
Yeah.
And, the people in the hood are going reaching for weapons and shit when they normally shouldn't. So is some of these little demons that are around jumping in these people, making them do this kind of crap? It could be. That's why,
I know Derek Chauvin is a terrible human being. I
think he's a piece of shit too. You're not going to get any love from me for those fuckers because
no.
The damn cops in Brooklyn Center, which is right next to Minneapolis, they didn't fucking help me at all when I got stabbed. They didn't even know.
Right.
I'm like, thanks, dicks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that fucker should have been locked up for attempted murder, but no, they weren't. And sadly, when I was younger, I didn't say shit. I'm like,
well, no.
I didn't react. I don't react. I don't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. No, nobody. I just kept it to myself. I'm like, whatever. All right, I see what's going on. But it got me to the end, or the end of that crap, I guess. In the beginning of this new nonsense, which is, how the hell am I supposed to explain all this shit to these people? It's tough, and it probably.
Well, and that brings me back to my point originally. Biblically speaking, back in those times, someone is going from village to village, professing, I am the Son of God. I have the word. Let's go. Come on, follow me. I got some good. I have some good things to say over here. I want you all to love each other. I want you all to stop with the nonsense, with the bickering with each other. We all got to get together. We all got to get rid of Satan, and that's the end of it. And it really came down to a handful of people who were down with the message, and everybody else tried to kill his ass. Okay?
Right. Mm-hmm.
We get to now. Okay? You come out, you say what you have to say. People are going to say some fucked up shit. Of course they are. But, like I said, when I was a kid, I thought to myself, let's say Christ shows up right now. What are they going to do with him? Looney bin.
Right? Exactly. Dude, I tried to tell these people in my neighborhood where I live right here. I'm like, hey, it's me. I'm God's son. And I've tried to ask them. I'm like, hey, is there somebody in this neighborhood who has the faith in our Lord that they could heal themselves or they could just touch his son? Call the fucking cops. So the cops show up, and I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? I'm laughing. I'm like, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen, you guys. And they're like, yeah, we're coming by doing a wellness check on you. You had a post on social media. I was like, are you fucking serious? I'm like, did you read it? They're like, no. And so I showed it to them, and I'm laughing. They're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, dude, I'm serious. I'm like, it's me. I don't know how else to explain this to you, but, hi, how you doing? I'm right here. But when they showed up, they were skeptical. When they left, pretty sure they believed me. And I had one lady in my neighborhood come by and asked me to actually talk to me. And I'm like, well, that's all I wanted was somebody to talk to, because when you talk to me man to man or person to person, you're not going to think that I'm some fucking Looney Tune. Just the information that I have is totally bonkers from what you've been told, or it's the exact opposite, or it just doesn't go well. But there's something in Christianity that just my physical presence, even if my name was Jesus, they would hate me, which that part I don't understand. There's a hatred there. Like, you can't be here. Like, what the fuck? Thought you idiots wanted me to come back. You keep whining and fucking praying to him and telling me to come back. I'm back here now and you hate me for it? Like, this is awesome. Well, so I actually had a friend of mine recently. I thought I lost everybody. Like, fuck. Damn, I got nobody here. But I had a friend of mine, he told me, he's like, you know what? My wife said, what happens 8 months from now when we find out that he's not lying? I'm like, right, but I don't want anything from you, but I am, I'm here for you guys. I'm like, I'm not here for me at all, ever. You know, I'm here for you. If it wasn't for Kylie still being here, I'd be out. Fuck this. I'm out. Dude, this place sucks. You know, that's just the way I feel about it. I don't want to be here. It's with the way everything's going and all the bullshit going on and people just whining about it. And people, I'm like, look, I'm right here. They're like, no, fuck you. You know you're not. Okay. Like, there's just shitty ass people everywhere. But at the same time, there's not. There's just, they're in the way trying to stop me. You know, and I'm like, oh, fuck you guys. That's fine. You can disconnect yourselves all you want. Good. I'm glad. It makes me happy because as soon as you disconnect yourself from me, I don't have to feel your suffering. It's like, sweet. I mean, I'm the Heyuka empath, the sacred clown, which, I mean, that should be obvious. I mean, everything that I have is the exact opposite of what society is right now. You know, there's no me. No, I'm here for you guys. I have the truth for you, and we can straighten this shit out and take this planet back from these assholes as soon as you guys want to, but you got to understand that I'm not lying to you. But it's tough. I don't know what exactly it is that I have to say to get through to people, what I have to do. Is it somebody's going to have to be healed, but again, that's not under my control. So how the hell am I supposed to do that? They're like, well, do something magical. I got rid of the devil. Isn't that magical? Well, they can't fucking see that. So damn.
Well, you can't. That's the thing. You can't quantify something like that.
Right. I can't. So I need animators or somebody that I can tell them this is how this happened. So when I'm looking at him, I see him in the metaphysical realm. But I'm also, my eyes are wide open and I see the building back here behind me, the fence and trees and grass and all that shit. That's all there. But where he is, none of it is. I'm like, what the fuck? So, and he literally flew and shot straight through that building behind me back there and towards the moon when he left. But there was no.
So when you meet people though, can you kind of pinpoint where they were then? Or is that well, since we've all been, this is our next go around, so to speak.
Yeah.
When you come across certain people, do you get like an inkling of where they were previously,
or who they were?
Yeah, who they were, what they were, or is that just?
I guess the only one that happened with was King Solomon. So far.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't peg St. Peter until after he died. He died. He was killed in a motorcycle accident when he was 21. I didn't put together that he was St. Peter until later. Mm-hmm. So, and then with my mom and my aunt, I'm pretty sure my wife's dad might be a saint himself. I mean, it's not just around me. I'm not the only one. I mean, there's lots of us. I mean, when I met Pontius Pilate, his public adjuster is St. Michael. I'm pretty sure, because when I met him, he's like, there's something special about you. He was talking to me. I'm like, what? I knew what he was talking about, but I was like, how the hell do you know that? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't say that shit publicly. I'm not in the place to be talking about that right now, but okay. I told him finally this year, and he's like, yeah, I knew it was something. I'm like, you're St. Michael, aren't you? He had no fucking idea. That's the funny thing is I'm the only one who knows. And it's like, shit, I know there's everybody that was here back then is here now. As far as who they are this time, I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure I could find them.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess ultimately then this is not fun for you, I would imagine.
Not right now, no.
No.
Not at all. No. I don't do shit. I literally sit at home, watch sports and cartoons. I have nowhere to go. I have nobody to hang out with. I have nobody to really talk to because everybody thinks I'm fucking crazy. Or not really. I mean, just can't really tell my people in my neighborhood. They don't want to hear it. And I generally just don't really associate with too many people because I don't know who is who right now. I mean, I'm not worried about being killed. It's like, fuck it, go ahead, kill me. I don't give a damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because then you guys are all dead. It's everybody else that needs to worry about keeping me alive. I mean, the devil couldn't take me out, so what chance does anybody else think they really have?
Yeah, and why anyway? I mean,
exactly.
Legitimately, why? But even if you completely disagree, well, like, oh, let's go kill this guy.
I've literally never done anything to anybody that would.
I can't see a reason. I can't see a reason. Well, like, let's say I completely thought you were just 1,000,000% wrong. Why would I have what inside of me would make me want to, fuck this guy, let's kill him off? That's ridiculous. Right? That's a ridiculous thought.
It is. Quite frankly. Oh, for good.
I mean, I also
person, I could pull a fucking dick if I have to, but I mean, sometimes I'm just
right,
just to laugh. It's just funny. I mean,
yeah, but like, even if you were being a dick to me right now, it still wouldn't inspire a level of negativity where I would want to cause you harm. It would just be like, all right, well, okay, fuck this guy, and that'd be the end of it. Yeah, but like, you know what I'm saying though. Like, why would you like? That's just ridiculous. That's
no, it is. I don't understand that at all. Why people think it's necessary or even okay to cause somebody else harm.
No, it's vile and it's selfish.
It's fine. I mean, bullies. While we're on this subject, this is pretty fun. Bullies come back as midgets.
Makes sense.
Little scrappy dude. Like,
that makes sense.
Shit in that little fucking body, little turd. Get out of here. I mean, they can whine about it all they want, but they put themselves. So, I mean, personal. So,
yes.
If you decide that you want to cause people harm, that's fine, but the same shit's going to happen to you. And if not, we will, when you come back, we'll retard your mind, retard your body, and you'll come back here as Down syndrome. I think that is that's the last ring of fucking hell is Down syndrome, because now your body and your mind are retarded. And I mean, there's really not much you can do. The only option you have at that point is love. So you've seen the people with the little T-Rex arms, right?
Yeah.
They killed somebody. So they come back. So if once I can get to a point where I can explain this to people in a way that they can really understand it and grasp it, it's like, look, you motherfuckers keep whacking each other in the hood all you want, but your stupid ass is gonna come back here with fucking arms. You ain't gonna be jacking off nothing. How the hell is a life gonna be like with that? I mean, you end up in jail, fine. That's this life. But next time you're coming back and you're not going to like that at all. But they do it to themselves. Now, with the soulmate and twin flame thing, this is say I never would never, and I never did. But if Lucifer had beaten Kylie, my soulmate, I would have to have beaten Jacqueline, my wife. That's the way that would have happened. So if you as a man beat the shit out of your wife or girlfriend, somebody else is going to beat the shit out of your other half of you, your soulmate. So that's how what goes around comes around works. So if we as men hurt a woman, another man is going to hurt the other half of us, which we won't understand that until it happens to her. So, I mean, it's that's how that works. And I think if people understand that a little more, they're going to settle the hell down.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no good reason to lay your hands on a woman in violence. Never. Fucking ever. But I mean, you put it in those terms. I know they do. I've witnessed it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it is for sure. But yeah, well, if they understand that what you just did to that woman is going to be done to the other half of you, well, then they might think twice. Or not. It just keeps going with the stupid cycle, back and forth.
Well, then that's an unenlightened and lower life form,
Right. Yeah, most definitely lower life form. Expendable.
Yeah. So now we're getting into some dark shit.
Shadow side.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's there. It's equally necessary.
Yeah, and I've known a lot of people who are into, the dark arts, put it to you that way. And they've always put it to me that, both sides are equally powerful and equally useful. I never believed that. I've always been siding with the light, as I've always been.
So real quick, I just got a few minutes. I got to go pick up my son.
Yeah, absolutely.
On that subject right there, I've had the same feeling as you did, that there's this dark and light thing. No. The dark was established to give Lucifer the power that he supposedly had, make him equal to God.
Mm-hmm.
Darkness doesn't actually exist. It's just what the empty space is that we call until we bring the light in, because we can't see. So it's not really there. There's just a lack of light. So that's where I'm getting there. But that darkness. All of that has to apply. Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
All right. So I'm on there too. I put a whole shit ton of posts. I've been doing this shit since the end of January. I post. So there's a ton of information there. And I've worked my way through trying to get to establish this part is darkness isn't even real. So we don't need it. It's not a force. It's like evil. Evil isn't a force. It's an option.
Yeah.
But we have it blown up into this fictitious force that it is not actually. And it's just somebody being a fucking dick. Yeah. Just being an asshole. It's like, well, I can do that too, but I'm not, not an evil person. But if I have to do something that is classified as evil, you probably deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never physically assaulted anybody, except playing hockey, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, well, no, that's the game, brother. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm getting there with the light stuff, because I mean, like I said before, half of the illuminations come from the shadow side, not darkness, but from your shadow side, which is the part of yourself that you keep hidden.
Yeah,
I think. You see, I don't know everything. I mean, I'm sure I have access to everything just like everybody else does, but I'm trying to get to the rest of it. But it's a lot harder to do. It's just freaking me.
Yeah,
I have nobody to bounce this stuff off of. Like, hey, I need to tell you something and see what you think about this. I don't want to fucking hear that.
Right.
Thanks. But it's nutty. It is nutty. It's wild, bonkers, and I mean, you can tell that I'm not out of my damn mind. I'm not freaking crazy. It's just the information that I have is.
It's counter to everything everyone else.
Right.
would feel. Yeah. I get that. And
I got a lot of blowback in the very beginning from people who are supposedly friends of mine. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And they over the last 7 months or whatever, they've turned around.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't lost everybody. I haven't lost anyone at all. Just people decided to disconnect themselves. I'm like, all right, well, peace.
Yeah.
Here, dude. Thanks. Now I don't ever have to deal with you again. So that's probably my favorite part, is they don't even know that I'm done. He needs to come get him. 1 second. Yeah, I gotta wrap this up. I gotta go grab a kid.
All right, my friend. Thank you for joining me. And
yeah, sure. Dude,
it was a lot of fun. It was enlightening, and you're a hell of a good guy, and I appreciate you.
You too. Thank you. Yeah, let me know. Let's do this again.
Absolutely. You have a good night, my friend.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Night.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Joseph Ross. Interesting individual. He certainly has some ideas that some of you may find offensive, but we have to ask ourselves, do we really want to live in a world where we're not hearing points of view that don't challenge us, that don't make us think? Anyway, Joseph and I got along quite famously, and there's much to be said for that. So until next time, try to enjoy the daylight from 333 Studios. This has been the Book of Very, Very Bad Things podcast. I've been Peter. He's been Joseph. You've been fantastic. And I can't wait to see you on the other side. Good night, everybody.